Hello everyone, welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. Today is Tuesday, November 3rd. After our election updates yesterday, thank you for being back here for your regular edition of 3 News Now with our top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. I will have to tell you, I had a lot of fun yesterday chatting with our reporters out in the field, talking about all of the big topics related to the election yesterday here in Northeast Ohio. Talking about the race for Cleveland mayor, issue 24, all the school board issues that people were facing. It was a very big night here in Northeast Ohio. Lots of change coming to the area, and not just in politics and those other issues, possibly even in sports and in the world of entertainment news. But we will start with yesterday's election results. At the end of the day, Justin Bibb did get elected to be the next mayor of Cleveland after 16 years of the administration of Frank Jackson. That means that he beat out current Cleveland City Council President Kelley. Now, raised on the city's east side just 300 days ago, no one knew who Justin Bibb was, but now he will be Cleveland's 57th mayor. He's 34 years old, so he is now the second youngest mayor in the city of Cleveland. That is behind former Mayor Dennis Kucinich, who was elected at the age of 33 years old. Now, Bibb won decisively in the September primary and again decisively last night. When everything was said and done, it was about 15,000 votes that separated Bibb from Kelley. That's a margin of 63% to 37%. What Bibb did leading up to the election in his campaign, he portrayed himself as progressive, backing police reform and talking of technology. He said his time in the business and nonprofit sectors, where he focused on using data to guide decisions, is what he'll be bringing to City Hall now. Now, City Hall here in Cleveland, bit of a time of crisis. There were several failing departments, the economic stress triggered by the pandemic, also remaking the police department because issue 24 did pass. We'll get more to that in just a moment. And last night, Justin Bibb said there is no time to waste. He said that it's just the beginning. Tonight we celebrate, saying this yesterday, and tomorrow we're going to roll up our sleeves and do the hard work of moving our city forward in a better direction. Now, of course, we will have commentary from Justin Bibb himself. Actually, while I was walking in here to record this 3 News Now update, I walked past Justin Bibb walking in with our investigative reporter, Mark Namick. So you'll see more from him very soon on all of our TV shows and also on WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Now, when it comes to Kelley, he did concede last night. Here's what he said. He said, when you have elections, you can do one of two things. You can feel like you were somehow done wrong, or we can come together. We believe in a better Cleveland, and because of that, we are not going to hold grudges. So that's Kelley's message, throwing his support to the new mayor-elect, Justin Bibb. Now, one of the things that separated Bibb and Kelley a bit was their stance on issue 24. Issue 24 was a controversial measure on the ballot to reform police oversight in the city of Cleveland. And it did pass. It did pass last night. So this is going to be a big change for the way policing is at least oversought here in the city of Cleveland. It'll be a civilian police review board that is established. So this will be a special commission of citizens chosen by Mayor-elect Justin Bibb. They'll be in charge of investigating reports of police misconduct. Now, before this, possible misconduct was dealt with via an internal investigation within the Cleveland Police and the city of Cleveland. Here's what the text of the amendment says, just a portion of the text. 13 citizens that are broadly representative of the racial, social, economic, and cultural demographics of Cleveland will make up this commission. That includes racial minorities, immigrants, refugees, LGBTQ plus individuals, youth, faith, business, and other constituents. Very interesting there with the youth included in that category. So the mayor will appoint these 13 members to the commission. They'll need approval by the city council with a majority vote. There'll be 4-year terms following an application process, and the mayor will be able to remove members for any malfeasance or gross neglect of duty and other serious misconduct. So that's a bit vague there on how it's possible to remove someone, but definitely some leeway there if someone turns out not to be a fit on this commission, that they could be removed by the mayor. Now, the charter amendment passed on Election Day. The margin was 59% yes to 41% no. This issue was endorsed by more than 30 Northeast Ohio organizations. That includes Black Lives Matter Cleveland, NAACP Cleveland, the ACLU of Ohio, and the Cuyahoga County Progressive Caucus. Mayor-elect Justin Bibb was a big advocate for the issue. He told our 3 News' Mark Namick that if he was elected, which he was, he wouldn't mind sharing power with the citizens when it comes to policing, saying that it's a false choice between good and effective law enforcement and police accountability, and he believes that both can be done. And the biggest thing is to make sure that there is safety and security and residents trust the police. Without that, you don't get safety. Another big race result that you are clicking on WKYC.com is Nicole Daly Jones winning the race for mayor of North Olmsted over Kevin Kennedy. Now, Kevin Kennedy had won 3 terms. He was running for an unprecedented 4th term in North Olmsted, but Jones beat him out with about 59% of the vote, just over a 1,000 vote lead. Jones is a 2-term city council president, former director of communications for Cuyahoga County. She was running on the platform of not re-signing any new water agreements with the city of Cleveland. She brought up recent litigation between Westlake and Cleveland. Westlake's litigation is trying to change the source of water supply for the city, moving from Cleveland as the main source to Avon Lake as the main source. Now, the city council voted 6-1 to not re-sign water agreements with the city of Cleveland, but Mayor Kennedy was responsible for the executive decision on the deal. He was first elected in 2005 and will no longer be the mayor of North Olmsted. Now, if you were taking a look at the school levies and races related to school issues in Northeast Ohio, we have a breakdown of all of the wins and losses on WKYC.com, and there were some big issues on the ballot. Not only were there school levies in many places, but also controversial school board races, as many people taking very starkly different stances on masking policies and also critical race theory. So if you want to see how those results broke down, you can find that at WKYC.com. Now, let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers here in Ohio. These come from the Ohio Department of Health. In the last 24 hours, we have seen 4,503 new reported cases of COVID-19. Yesterday, November 2nd, since we didn't get to this yesterday, since we had our special election updates editions of 3 News Now, there were 3,917 new reported cases of COVID-19. That was on Tuesday, November 2nd. The total number of deaths now related to COVID-19 in Ohio, 24,763. And right now there are 2,341 people who are being treated in the hospital related to COVID-19. Out of those, 675 of them are being treated in the intensive care unit. Another big update that happened yesterday, the CDC granted approval for COVID-19 vaccines between the ages of 5 and 11. It's that emergency use authorization, and the state of Ohio says it has 367,000 of the doses. These are the lower dose Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines for children ages 5 to 11. Also, Dr. Bruce Vanderhoff said today in a press conference that additional shipments are arriving on a staggering schedule over the coming days. But right now, 367,000 doses of the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccines for those 5 to 11-year-olds, giving a lot of parents a sigh of relief as we head into the holiday season. So if you're looking to get your child vaccinated, you can get the shot at these different providers: local health departments, pediatricians, family physicians, community health centers, and adult and children's hospitals, and also at pharmacies. Now, Dr. Vanderhoff noted today, with this vaccination process for children ages 5 to 11 just beginning, remember, it takes 5 weeks for full protection from the vaccine against COVID-19. And Dr. Vanderhoff said, until your child gets that maximum protection from the vaccine, remember, students are encouraged to wear masks in schools and wait for the vaccine rollout for younger students. And he also made a note of this: as the Halloween season approaches, if you are a person who celebrates Christmas, remember, it takes 5 weeks for full vaccination. So if you count 5 weeks back from Christmas, that means that children should aim to get their vaccination if you plan to have gatherings for the holidays no later than November 20th. Today is November 3rd, so that is 2.5 weeks away. So if that's something that's on your radar, maybe get into that planning now and try and get into those appointments. Now, to the changes that are possibly coming in the sports world. Today we are learning that the Cleveland Browns wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. was excused from practice by the team. Now, if you're wondering who instigated this, what we have reported, according to CBS Sports and USA Today's Josina Anderson, is that he was ready to participate in practice today. Yahoo Sports' Charles Robinson confirmed that, and he said it appeared that the Browns and Odell Beckham Jr. are at a bit of a crossroads. Remember, he did not get traded yesterday before the NFL's trade deadline, which was at 4 p.m. on November 2nd. And then today, when asked about a comment that was reported by Mike Silver. Here's what was reported by Mike Silver, that head coach Kevin Stefanski told Browns players that Beckham was no longer a part of the team. Well, when he was asked about that at a press conference today, Stefanski said today he's excused and we'll see where this goes. This seems to indicate that it is possible that OBJ's time here in Cleveland could be coming to an end. But what's interesting here is that the Browns did not, chose not, or were not able to trade OBJ before the NFL trade deadline. So that means the only option at this point in the season, if they're going to remove him from the roster, would be to release him. And I was having a conversation with our 3 News sports analyst, Ben Axelrod, about this, and I said to him, how is it possible that OBJ would not be on the team anymore if the trade deadline had passed yesterday? And he told me, well, they can release him. Another option is that they could make him inactive and just pay him out for the rest of the season. I said, why would they want to do that? And he said, well, you wouldn't want to risk him necessarily signing with someone like the Baltimore Ravens, who we still have to play twice this season. And you don't necessarily have that control over what a player does. If you do release him, he would go through waivers. If he doesn't get picked up through waivers, these are the options that could come down. So lots of questions there, but it does seem like it is not a honeymoon period at all in the slightest for the Cleveland Browns and Odell Beckham Jr. Also, lots of drama going on here, right? We saw that Odell Beckham Jr.'s dad had posted on social media a video of Baker Mayfield targeting OBJ but missing him with the pass, highlighting clips selectively where it seemed that the misconnection there was on quarterback Baker Mayfield. Also, LeBron James tweeting yesterday that OBJ will find a place to be special again, and the hashtag #FreeOBJ kind of makes you wonder, if these things are happening without any direction from the player. I have to think, if I'm OBJ and these comments are being made so publicly, if I didn't know about that, I would be pretty upset. So regardless, he was excused from practice today, and the Browns are being tight-lipped, saying that general manager Andrew Berry is having conversations with Odell Beckham Jr.'s representatives. We will keep you up to date on what's happening with this very scandalous story. And speaking of scandal, if you are a fan of The Bachelorette, you know that there are 2 Ohio guys competing for Michelle Young's love on season 18 right now. One of them was sent home yesterday. Our 2 Ohio guys are Rick Leach, 32 years old, and Spencer Williams, 25. And it was Spencer Williams who got sent home yesterday. Now, both of the guys went on a group date. Neither of them have had a one-on-one date just yet. Spencer won't get that opportunity. Rick will moving forward, but Rick didn't get the group date rose on that, which meant he wasn't necessarily safe going into the elimination ceremony, but he did get one in the end. Their date was very interesting, though. It was at an air museum in Palm Springs, and it was themed around Top Gun Maverick, the second installation of Top Gun, which is coming out in 2022. There were 2 stars from the movie on hand. The guys had to get in one of those spinning things, which is used for aviator training, and when they were in there, they had to declare their love for Michelle Young, the series lead. Then they got out and they battled it out in a gauntlet. Interesting. They always have very interesting dates on the show. But nonetheless, at the end of the day, Rick Leach continues on, Spencer Williams sent home, and now there are 14 men left trying to win the love of Michelle Young. We do recap this every Wednesday since we've got our Northeast Ohio guys on there, so stay tuned for that next week on WKYC.com, where we learn if Rick Leach lives to fight another day for the love of Michelle Young. And that's it for your 3 News Now update today for Wednesday, November 3rd. I will see you back here tomorrow with more 3 News Now.